Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is just a little video clip of what the house looked like when we moved in. I don't even have carpets yet. Here's a picture. And this is once we settled. I've painted this hallway twice, I think, because I couldn't decide what color I wanted to have. I've moved the light fixture. It was very close to the doors before, so I put it sort of in the middle of the hallway. Just made more sense, especially because I wanted it to be like a dangly one like this one. And where it was before, if you were to open the doors, it would hit the light fixture where it was. I've started painting. I ended up mixing some paint that I had left over, so I can't tell you what color this is. It's sort of dusty purple, I think. I still don't know what I think about it. It's really, really difficult to choose a color for a hallway. I have loads of golden details in there. So all the fixtures I will try to keep golden. So like all the handles, the letterbox thing. I don't know what you call this. What would you call this? It's just the flimsy, cheap one that I found in Homebase. It's not very good. But it's shiny. I like shiny. I'll also change these. I think these are original to the house and they've been painted a million times. I really like this bit, but unfortunately I'm not going to keep it. It's just easier for me to get a new one. That was me trying to remove the fixtures and I couldn't. I managed it. It probably took me 3 days. I swapped them out. It was an effort. That's after I removed the window. I wanted to have like a stained glass effect. I avoided it's like a sticker, but there's no glue on it, I don't think. You just spray the glass with water and then it sticks to the glass perfectly. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna cut it to size, then spray it with water. And the most difficult part was cutting it to size because the window is so old. I'm not sure how they fit the glass into the window itself because it wasn't like a wooden trim, rather it was a filler that was holding the glass inside this wood. So it must have been done by hand, and it just the lines went straight, so I couldn't just cut straight. As well as like I've added the sticker on, so I couldn't see to the other side where the filler was. And there are some like little gaps, not that anyone would notice. I'm still happy with the choice I made because it's like it's textured glass. The other side of the glass is like little bubbles. So it actually looks better from the other side, the one that's gonna be indoors, because it actually looks real because of those textured bubbles. I'm going to paint it black because it is black on the other side of the door. I do like the way it looks because it's like a porch and it has a brick in there, as you can see through the window. So I think it looks good with the black from that side. as well as the door will be dark green from this side. And that's what I meant when I said it's black. So I think I'm going to keep it that way. I wish I could change the glass on the door itself, because the texture is different to the texture on the window, so it doesn't match. But then I don't want to add another sticker. I think it would just look silly. Wow! Golden hinges, yes. And a golden push plate. I'll try and find it. I think it was on Amazon that I got it from. I'll try and find it and add a link down below to where I got it from. It wasn't expensive, I don't think. And there's me sanding the doors. I thought that because I have a Makita sander that this is all that it's gonna take, but no. It was difficult to get the paint off. I had to buy a remover. I let it sit overnight, and the removal was great, as you can see. Like, it was really satisfying. Only take off 3 layers of paint at the time, and who knows how many times this door was painted. So it just got really expensive. Like, it would cost me less to buy a new door than to keep buying the remover and keep stripping it 3 coats of paint at the time. So I ended up sanding this one side and painting the other side, even though originally I wanted it all to be just wooden, because it's not exposed to the rain. I thought I'm just gonna sand it and leave it as is, but I end up putting some lacquer and some white wash on this side of the door. This is me when I ran out of the paint remover and I didn't want to buy any more. And that's the other side, the one that's going to be green. I am actually quite happy that I ended up painting it green, because looking back now, if I would have had it the same from both sides, it would have been a little bit boring. Whereas now it's like this really pretty dark green color, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. Just gotta fit this letterbox in there. The previous one was a lot smaller, so I'll have to make the hole a little bit bigger to fit this new one in. It's not going to be used by a postman, it's more of a decoration really. So I drilled 2 holes first, and I had to drill it at an angle because the hole that's already made, it's made at an angle. There must be a reason for it, I don't know. I just tried my best to mimic how it was cut. And then I had to make these little, not holes, but just to sink in the bolts that are on there, because the bolts, see, they don't sit flush with the fitting, they have to sink into the door. So I'll use this scary looking drill bit to make like a little hole for the bolt to sit in. I think this was the first time me using this type of drill bit. And that's after. As you can see, I didn't go very deep, just a little bit, just enough for the bolts to sit in there. And I'm not going to actually screw it in. I'm just gonna glue this onto the door, because it was just getting too complicated. And as I said, it's not really going to be used by a postman, because we have that second door, that's the actual front door, and this is more of a porch door. Maybe it used to be the front door a long time ago, because I can see my neighbors have identical doors to this one, and they don't have the UPVC doors on the outside. I just put some wood filler in all the cracks and where it's been beaten over the years, and then sanded it just to have a smooth finish once I add the paint on. That's the wood filler that I used. You can get different colors to match the wood. This is just what I had on hand. And then I started painting, and this is just ordinary paint for the walls because I'm on a budget. This was the paint I used on my bedroom wall, but then it didn't work out because it marked it. Like every time you touched it somewhere, you could see it and it wouldn't go away. So I ended up painting it green, and then I had to buy a clear matte paint to put on top to protect the green from the marks. Looks quite scary there. I think I'm back indoors now, and I'm just going to use this multi-tool to get into those corners where I couldn't get in with the round Makita sander. This was really helpful because I wouldn't have been able to do it by hand. I really tried, like in all those crevices, the trim, I tried to do it by hand and I couldn't. It's still white, so that's why I ended up adding a white wash just to make the door match those little trim bits. So it looks a little bit messy, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's an old door, and I just love the idea of saving it rather than buying a new one. And then again, because I couldn't sand it, I decided to try and use a chisel to get into the corners and get those like blobs of paint. You know, when you paint it with a brush, you'll always have an excess paint in all the corners. This can be tricky because the blade is very sharp and it's quite easy to damage the wood. I think I might have scratched it in some places, but again, it's okay. You have to practice this to get better at it. And it's not often that you have to do something like this in the house. This took me so long, like so long. I can't even remember. It's been there in the shed for ages. And there's still a lot of white paint left. But it's okay. We can live with that. I was thinking this would maybe hide the imperfections, and it kind of did. You'll see at the bottom there's some white speckles of paint. This is where some nail holes been left. It's for the draft excluder, so this is the bottom of the door. So I'll add the draft excluder back on, and hopefully you won't see any of the white speckles anymore. That's the door on and painted. And I got this handle. Just I couldn't figure out where should I position it, because it is a proper handle and it should be on the edge there, but then I'm not going to use it as a proper handle. I'm just going to attach it to the door and it's going to work as a pull, because otherwise I would have to pull the door shut by the letterbox. I've decided to put it there in the middle, and I'll add the same handle on this side as well, just because it's so pretty. I was so happy when I found it. I think this is after the whitewash. So it looks dark again. And this is the final result. This is what it looks like now. The handle is on, and I've also added the little corner like decoration things. I got it from AliExpress. I'll try and link it down below. They were very inexpensive. I haven't seen anyone do this before. I think they are made for like little jewelry boxes. But I just thought it would make the door look nicer because those corners were quite messy. But like, look at this, look at this. I could just sit there and stare at this door. Like, wow. The only regret I have is the matte clear paint. Because look, it just looks so uneven. It looks white. It's like left these white speckles. I really don't know what to do. I tried buying a satin clear paint, which I have used in the kitchen, but it turned out looking very glossy because I think I've used the same green paint in the kitchen and I wanted to protect it, and then it ended up looking a lot darker when I used the gloss. So this matte one, even though it's stained, I still prefer the matte green look over the glossy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Which side would you prefer? Or would you have kept it white as it was? I'm thinking to get one of these push plates to the other side, but I don't know, is it an overkill? Or am I just like too much into shiny stuff? I've done this paneling on the wall, added some wooden, I don't know what they call, wooden appliques. Goes all the way to the top, and then I got this shoe box from a charity shop for £8. I just painted the bottom this dusty pink, and I think I'll paint the top white, and then I'll add a cushion on it so you can actually sit on it as you put your shoes on. So this is what it looks like now, and just a little reminder of what it was before. I hope you enjoyed this video.